We're talking Chiefs trade targets on today's video. As promised, if you caught our Wednesday show, we told you this would be coming, and here it is. The NFL trade deadline, less than 5 days away, or just right at 5 days away, I should say. Next Tuesday, 4 o'clock Eastern time, and I got 5 players that Bret Veach and company could go after, starting with Alex Mack, the center for the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is, taking calls on just about everybody, and this Chiefs center position has been a little bit shaky. They made a change to Daniel Kilgore recently, and after Austin Ryder wasn't playing very well, they didn't really replace Kelechi Osemele as Nick Algretti has been playing left guard. The interior part of this offensive line could use an upgrade. Now, I'm not saying this O-line group's been awful, but it's been up and down. At times, it hasn't been great. That's why there's been some shuffling over the past couple of weeks. Now, could you get by with this group? Yes. Mitchell Schwartz should be back very, very soon at right tackle, which will be obviously good. He could play as soon as this week. It just depends as we film this video, but we will see. I'm not worried about that. I'm more looking at the interior of that offensive line. Alex Mack, I think, is a guy that could give you an instant upgrade at center, and then you got some flexibility at your guard spots moving forward. Now, if Alex Mack isn't your cup of tea, there are plenty of guys out there. Joe Tooney's a guy I think that is available. Brandon Scherf, they're both on the franchise tag this year, so they're a little bit more expensive. Andrew Norwell for Jacksonville, I think they would like to get something for him. James Carpenter, another Falcons offensive guard. And then Billy Price, if you want to trade low for a guard center type and late round pick and bring in a guy with at least some upside, he could be available as well. We'll keep it rolling here, but before we do, name a player you want the Chiefs to trade for before the NFL trade deadline on Tuesday. Let me know. Who do you want the Chiefs to trade for before next Tuesday? Because guess what? If they make a trade, we're going to cover it here on the Chiefs Report. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Simple as that. It's free. You hit the subscribe button. You hit that bell. That way you get notified on your phone or on your tablet or whatever it is as soon as we post a video or if we go live, which could be a possibility if the trade is big enough. Subscribe. Let's keep this train rolling. Let's get to 10,000 subs as soon as possible. All right, let's have some fun here because the Chiefs don't have any major needs, so I wanted to have fun with this one. Evan Engram, the tight end for the Giants, I think he could be available. Now, the Giants would like to get a day 2 draft pick, a third-round pick for Engram. I don't think they're going to get that, though. I think a 4th is more likely because he's had some injuries. He's been inconsistent. He hasn't been able to put it all together in New York. He has certainly flashed, but I think the Chiefs could maximize his talent in Kansas City. He's a vertical up-seam tight end, yet that's not how the Giants are using him this year. That's why his yards per catch is pretty low at under 9 yards a catch there. Doesn't have a touchdown this year. I think that's a mistake. Got to get this guy involved in the red zone. And quite frankly, I'm tired of seeing Nick Keizer. He catches a ball last week wide open, fumbles it. Week before, drops a game against the Raiders a few weeks back, drops a critical pass against Las Vegas in that loss. Keizer's flashed, he gets open, but Evan Engram is your tight end 2 behind Travis Kelce. Wow, that would be a whole lot of fun. More of a pipe dream here, but I think an idea worth exploring if you are Kansas City. Would you trade a 4th-round pick for Evan Engram? Type Y for yes, type N for no. He's expiring after this year. That's not a lot to risk for a guy with that much talent. I think I would. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. You guys can answer there. Type Y for yes or type N for no. Next up is Desmond King, the versatile defensive back for the Chargers. Big fan of him. He's kind of the forgotten man in that secondary because they have a lot of good players there. They've moved him around a lot, which I think has kind of caused a regression here in 2020. Doesn't have a PBU or an interception, isn't an every down player anymore, despite being an All-Pro just a couple of years ago. 2017, he was first-team All-Pro. I love his versatility, and you know who likes versatile defensive backs? Steve Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo, he's proved it in Kansas City. He has these guys moving all over the place. Outside of Bashaud Breeland and Charvarius Ward, who are strictly outside corners, these guys move around. Tyrann Mathieu, he plays near the line of scrimmage. He plays deep center sometimes. He plays nickelback. Same with Thornhill. He moves around. Not quite as much. Dirty Dan plays linebacker, safety, nickelback at times. Rashad Fenton, he can play inside and out. L'Jarius Sneed can play corner, nickel, and safety. He's obviously hurt right now. My point is Steve Spagnuolo likes these guys who are versatile, and that is the name of the game for Desmond King. He can line up at every single spot in the secondary, outside maybe strong safety, but he can play nickel, he can play free, he can play outside corner. He is solid all across the board, and it's unlikely because it's within the AFC West, but this is a player I think would fit perfectly on this Chiefs defense. But grade the Chiefs secondary this year, because I've been impressed, especially with all the young corners, the injuries, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm at like an A-. I think this secondary has been awesome, led by the Honey Badger. Juan Thornhill's recovered nicely from that ACL injury. Dirty Dan's been great. The corners, I loved what I saw from L'Jarius Sneed before he got hurt. So grade it for me. I'm going to go A-. Got a couple more players to get to, but before we do, want to remind you guys, get going with BetUS. Make some money. The Chiefs, they are a money funneling machine when you bet on them, especially just on the money line. They're going to win most of their games this year. Go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Use that promo code Chiefs125. Get that 125% deposit bonus. I'm telling you, I made a lot of money with these guys. And we still have this promo deal through the end of the month. Just got a couple of days left here in October. After you get going with BetUS, for new customers only. If you've already gotten going, this doesn't apply for you. But if you haven't yet, email us, chiefs@chatsports.com. We'll hook you guys up with a free Chiefs jersey. So all you got to do, sign up with BetUS, deposit $100, and then place that initial bet. After you do that, email us, chiefs@chatsports.com. We'll hook you guys up with a brand new Chiefs jersey. It's free. It's a great deal. Who doesn't like free? There's not that many deals out there. We're the only Chiefs YouTube channel doing that. I can promise you that. All right, Avery Williamson is up next, the linebacker for the Jets. Solid off-ball player here. The Jets are in fire sale mode. We know that. They're tanking for Trevor. We'll see if Trevor Lawrence goes back to college. There's some chatter there that could happen. But Williamson would give you a solid player at a position that's not great, right? Like the Chiefs' run defense isn't very good. The defense overall has been excellent, but they're 30th against the run. Mike Pennell hasn't been quite as good this year at that defensive tackle position. And these linebackers, they're okay. I like what I saw from Willie Gay this past week. I hope he continues to get some snaps, but Anthony Hitchens, Damian Wilson, they're just not that fast anymore. They're okay players, but they're more leaders than solid on-field contributors at this point. I would like to see to explore a guy like Avery Williamson, a guy you're not going to have to trade that much for. Like, you can probably throw the Jets a sixth, and they'll probably say, yeah, sure, take him. We're just looking for draft picks. He's cheap. He's on just a one-year deal in New York, so I think this could make some sense. They also have some other options there as well if you want to go in that direction. But Avery Williamson, I think, is a guy that can do a little bit of everything. He's got a pick. He's got 3 pass breakups, 50 tackles. He's not elite by any means, but would he be an upgrade or at least a solid 4th linebacker? I certainly think so. So I think this is a guy to keep an eye on for maybe some late draft pick compensation. So what is the Chiefs' biggest need? We asked this on Wednesday's mailbag video, but I want to ask it again. What is the Chiefs' biggest need as we, gear up for the second half of the season and try to chase another Super Bowl? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Last one here, Whitney Mercilus. A lot of Texans players connected to trade rumors because, like a lot of these teams, the Texans are sellers. Deshaun Watson is probably the only player who's completely untouchable on that roster. Mercilus, a vet, solid pass rusher, has 3 sacks this year. I think if you brought him in and he became like your number 3 edge rusher, sign me up. Bring him in on obvious pass downs. That makes a lot of sense to me. He's got 3 sacks this year. 4 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits. And keep in mind, too, Alex Okafor has had difficulty staying healthy at times for this Chiefs team over the past couple of years. I think Mercilus could come in, you could get him for pretty cheap, and be a solid pass rusher, especially on 3rd downs. The Chiefs' sacks haven't been great this year. They haven't had a ton of them. Like Chris Jones, awesome, 4.5. Frank Clark, you'll live with that 3. He's on pace for about 8 or 9 sack season. Taco Charlton has 2. No one else has more than 1. And I think Mercilus would be an upgrade from Taco. So I think if he could play that role and be that 3rd type of pass rusher, hopefully Okafor gets back and healthy, and then you've got a solid rotation there. I think you're okay here. I don't think you have to go get a pass rusher, but I won't say no. I don't think you can ever have enough pass rushers, so I think Whitney Mercilus is a name to at least keep on your minds as we approach the NFL trade deadline. Will the Chiefs make a trade before Tuesday, before the trade deadline comes and goes? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Let me know. I'll type my 1 for yes. I'd be surprised if there's a major move, but I think they could get like a depth type of piece like a Whitney Mercilus before the trade deadline. Quick recap, here are my 5 guys that I would like to take a look at. Alex Mack, the center for the Falcons. Evan Engram, I think that would be a fun idea if you can get him for the right price. Desmond King, versatile DB. Avery Williamson, the linebacker for the Jets. And then Whitney Mercilus, the defensive end for the Houston Texans. Trade deadline, it's approaching. Subscribe, turn on notifications, because if the Chiefs make a trade, we're going to do a video about it here on the Chiefs Report.